Hey there, neurodivergent besties. Want to know what happens when an ADHDer gets pulled over by the cops? It's a good one. Okay. So I was coming home late the other night from work. We're talking like 10:30, 11 o'clock-ish. And I hit the last stop sign before my street, and I must have rolled it because there's no cars on, it's deserted residential neighborhood. As I go through the light, out of my peripheral vision, I see reds and blues. And I'm like, what did I do? And then I was like, oh, I must have rolled the stop. That's something I would do. So I don't even bother waiting for him because obviously there's no other cars around. It's me he's after. So I just pull over and I wait for him. So as he comes around the bend, I'm already pulled over in park waiting for him. So he walks up to the car. It's dark. It's dark. There's no street lights. And I have tint on my windows. So of course I'm like all the windows down, all the interior lights on, hands on the steering wheel because dad taught me right. And I just wait for him. And he comes up and he's like, hey, where you going? And I'm like, the bend right there is my street. And he's like, okay, driver's license. I give him my driver's license. And that's when I started talking. And I was like, oh my gosh, talking a mile a minute. This is the last intersection before it becomes county territory. I almost made it out of your territory. It's so close. And that's when I realized that I had had nothing all day except for candy, caffeine, and Adderall. I was basically a meth head at that point. I was amped up so high on stimulants that I was talking a mile a minute and making no sense. It had very little control over it. And so I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And he's thinking, wow, I don't want to deal with her anymore. And I probably should give her a field sobriety test, but she lives right there. I don't want to deal with her. So this is important to note. As an autistic person, I do not read social cues very well. I have taught myself to review footage in my head after the fact and then identify the social cues, but real time, I'm still not good with social cues. So at the time, I didn't realize that when he handed me my license back, he's like literally trying to back away from the car and get away from me. And I'm still talking a mile a minute. I'm like, blah, 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 right? He's walking back to his car. I now have my head out the car window, still trying to talk back to him. So he stops walking because obviously he doesn't want to be rude and walk away from me. Well, he wanted to, but he didn't. And that's when I said the worst thing I could have possibly said. And this is not a joke and I'm not making this up. I swear to God I said this. I said, hey, if you decide, only I said it way faster. If you decide later that I needed a ticket, just go around the bend. You'll see my car in the driveway. Did I mention the officer was really cute? So I go home, and by the time I pull in my driveway, 15 seconds later, I'm reviewing tape, okay? I'm reviewing the entire conversation. And that's when I realized that what I said pretty much sounded like a meth head cougar trying to get the cute officer to come to her house at dark 30. Yeah. And I'm horrified, immediately horrified. I'm like, oh my God, that sounded awful. I'm so embarrassed. But then it got worse because I realized he probably had his body cam on and has a whole recording of the interaction. So because it's a slow city, when they go back at the end of the night and say, hey, what was your worst interaction? He has the option of pulling out the tape and being like, want to see my crazy meth head cougar who tried to get me to come back to her house? Yeah, that would be me. Crazy meth head cougar. Rawr. Yeah. So I'm never leaving my house again because I don't want to run into any of the officers that work in my city. No. So I don't even have a moral of the story. I don't even have a good ending. I just made a fool of myself because I was on Adderall, sugar, and caffeine. Oh, that's the moral. Eat something.